All right, what's going on, Black Speakers Network family? Welcome back to another Speakers Magazine live interview. Super excited that you're here. If we haven't met yet, my name is Brian Oles, president and founder here at Black Speakers Network. And in the building with us, as always, we have the founder and visionary of Speakers Magazine out of Detroit, Michigan, Dr. Pam Perry is here. Good morning,
Hey.
Pam.
Great to be here.
And then, of course, Sierra's not with us today, but we do have our special guest, and she is the chief faithpreneur. You know her, you love her. Featured this month on the July 2022 edition of Speakers Magazine. Dr. Stacie NC Grant is in the building. How are you, Dr. Grant?
I am great. I'm going to give you all a round of applause. How about that? I come with my own noise. Some 1, 2. It's about to go down. I'm here with Speakers Magazine and Black Speakers Network, honey. I had to come ready.
That's it.
Listen, I don't even need coffee. I'm gonna just stick with the water, put the coffee on the side. Like, this is too hype. So for everybody listening and watching, this is our monthly opportunity to basically do a live cover reveal, as well as an issue walkthrough of Speakers Magazine. Pam, I want to say congratulations to you, Mark, and the entire Speakers Magazine team, now celebrating 5 years, I believe.
5 years. Yes. We are kindergartners.
Facts. You are. You went. I jumped on board when you were just above the newborn phase.
Yes.
You were
the first Black Speakers Networks, I want to just say, was Jonathan Pasley, who passed, but he was December 2017, the very first year that Speakers Magazine was in existence, and he was the advocate. That issue was titled Black Speakers Magazine, Jonathan Pasley, Black Speakers Magazine Advocate. And when I read what you said about Jonathan, how he basically pulled a lot of the vision and dreams out of you, I was really, really more impressed with him and the impact and the dent in the universe that he made, not just on you, but on everybody. It sounded like from reading from everybody he met. So I just wanted to say condolences to his wife and to his family, and to thank you for sharing him with us, Brian, because I wouldn't have known him if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I really wanted to do something to, definitely honor his legacy. Jonathan Pasley, Dr. Grant was one of my good friends here in Baltimore, and he really saved the foundation, helped set the foundation for Black Speakers Network. And
Wow.
he passed away, unfortunately, last month. But, his legacy continues on, and myself and so many other people is just absolutely incredible. And so, yeah, I remember putting him on that issue. I was like, man, like, I really wanted, for everything you just said, Pam, like, he really represented to me the epitome of what it meant of like servant leadership. And you would have loved him, Dr. Grant, because he's absolutely a faithpreneur. He is deeply like him, his wife and family, like very, like his faith in God was like absolute and just incredible. He started a nonprofit organization actually called Christians Battling Cancer. And, he was very public about his journey, his fight about battling cancer and helping create a community of people striving to build just more of a connectivity and share stories and empowerment and encouragement of going through their own journey. So definitely appreciate that, Pam, and want to continue to honor him through the work that we continue to do.
Yeah. We're doing all this to make sure that we carry on in excellence, just like he was. So it definitely is a blessing, because I remember that particular issue in 2017. It was December, and I said, "Hey, Brian," I said, "we had just really gotten our partnership going, and I said, let's have you on the cover." And you said, "Nope, this is Brian, Dr. Stacie." He said, "Nope, it's got to be Jonathan." And I was like, "Who's
That,
Jonathan?"
that's
And I don't even know, and I'm about to cry, right? And it's like, "Who's Jonathan?" He says, "Oh, no, you gotta have Jonathan." I was like, "Okay." And so when I read later what it really meant, I should interview you and Jonathan at the time. I said,
wow.
"I get it now." Jonathan was the one that was the spark that really got Brian's vision ignited
And
and
Yep.
pushed.
you need that. You need
Yeah.
that. And my condolences on his transition. But what's warming my heart is that he will never die. His
Yeah.
spirit gets to live
Oh,
on. And him being on the cover of the magazine is a testimony, and
yeah.
I appreciate that we're celebrating Jonathan right now,
Yeah.
because the work that he left will live on. And that's what I tell
Yes.
everyone: when our loved ones transition, we honor them by how we live.
Yeah.
And that is how we say thank you for everything. And he was a man of faith. So just as that's all the work that I do, it's important to know that he knew that on this journey, if God raised him from the bed, it was to God's glory. But if he called him home, it was to his
His
glory. He
glory.
was clear about that. He was clear about how he lived his days on purpose. He was clear about how he witnessed to others, and that just because he had cancer, his life didn't stop. He didn't
No.
stop inspiring others. He didn't stop doing the work. He said, "I'm going to use all I have until God calls me home to rest." And now he
Mhm.
is resting with an eagle eye view, watching Brian every day, saying that I'm with you. We started this together. And now you have efficacious prayers that are coming down. Okay, y'all got me stirred up. Go on, go be here for speaking. Oh, now, hold on now.
That's it.
But
That is
God
it.
bless him as he rests with the angels, and he's
Mhm.
able to continue his work, because we're all passing through.
We
But
all just
he
pass through.
lived
This
his
ain't the
life.
final
Yeah.
place right here.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. That warmed my heart. What a good way to start this reveal, with a story of faith. And God
Yes.
bless him for his life, for his family that gets to continue to live this on, and his extended family, because you can have a friend that becomes a brother. And clearly
Mhm.
that's what he was to you, Brian. So we thank God for you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. No, this was not scripted. However, I this is amazing. So, um, I receive all of that, and definitely want to continue to wrap love and care and prayers around his family. He has two beautiful boys, and
Two
an amazing
kids.
wife, and down in Tampa, Florida. So definitely appreciate that so much. But Dr. Gant, you're no stranger to Speakers Magazine, and I'm so excited. I get excited when I see you for a couple reasons. Number one, we know that the Faithpreneur Conference is right around the corner, and I have some specific questions about that. Then we also know that my birthday is around the corner, which
Yes.
you also know because we have that in common. So
Yes.
listen, I just am really really excited. But for the uninitiated, why don't we just kind of kick things off and just tell people a little bit about yourself,
Sure.
and as well as some of the foundational elements that went into what the Faithpreneur Conference is and how it got started.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thank you for staying the course with providing such value to Black Speakers Network in this partnership with Speakers Magazine. Yes, I'm no stranger to this platform, and I salute all of those who are using their voice to be effective in the marketplace. And for my dear sister Pam, who was given so much opportunity and opened up doors and created a platform where speakers can share the content that they've been given. So, real simply, I'm God's media ambassador and 21st century communicator. I started like this from back in kindergarten, being able to share my voice and my story to create impact. But I didn't always know how it was going to show up, how God was fashioning and fixing all the pieces of my life. So, to everyone who's listening who believes in God, because my audience is clear, you have to believe God is real. It's a free choice, and He doesn't force you. You believe willingly that He's real and His word is true, and He'll never come back to Him void. And as I speak to my faithpreneurs, I'm going to tell you how this journey started, to answer your question, Brian. It was knowing that on the inside of me, I was given something different. And all of us know that we don't operate the same way as everybody else when we have a specific assignment, but we're not always clear on how to manifest and develop that. And on my journey, I was able to learn that for me, it started with getting really clear on my relationship with God, that I couldn't make him just a casual drive by, that I had to spend some time with understanding who he was in my life. The blessings that he provided were available to everyone, but I had to understand for myself what my responsibility was when it came to walking a life and walking out my purpose in a way that my life would give him the glory, that the work that I did would speak for me volumes of who he has created me to be. So it hasn't been an easy journey along these last basically all of my life, but particularly with Destiny Designers University and founding that December 29th, 2014, as a training and development platform for faithpreneurs. Who are faithpreneurs? Faith-based entrepreneurs and faith-based professionals who want to add another stream of income to their personal economy. We don't tell you got to quit your job to be a faithpreneur. You might love what you do in business and in industry, but you want options when you retire. You want to have multiple streams of income. And we have created a multimedia training and development, the only one for faith-based entrepreneurs. And we learn the process in the journey of developing and strengthening what you are building, leveraging your resources, your relationships, and your revenue to create a sustainable and profitable legacy. What I know to be true, Brian, is that there were times on my journey where people prayed, PREY, on the ignorance of what I didn't know. And here we PRAY for the discernment on how to align yourself with those who are a part of you winning, of you graduating to that next best version of you, who you're becoming, for understanding how we look at our physical, our spiritual, our financial, and our mental capacity to create a harmony in how we deliver our brilliance to the marketplace. And that it is not an overnight success story. A lot of people want things immediately. They want this microwave success. That is not what we talk about. What we talk about is how to build a strong foundation. I have a fundamental formula that we train in Destiny Designers University, and that is consistent action plus extended period of time equals maximum results. Write that down in the chat because somebody needs to remember that. Consistent action plus extended period of time equals maximum results.
That's
And
right.
once you start moving according to your divine destiny, according to the plans that God has for you, he didn't just create it in 2022. He not up there twiddling his thumbs like, well, maybe I might do that with Brian. Maybe I might do that with Dr. Pam. He knows the plans he has for you. But what he is waiting for is for you to pay him enough attention, for you to sit down and carve out the time to build your relationship with him so he can reveal who he has called you to be. Don't do like I did early on and make all my plans, all my little goal lists and everything that I wanted to do, and then tell God to bless it. That is out of alignment with how God works. What the prayer turned into was, God, what would you have me do with these gifts, these skills, these talents? How can I serve the marketplace? How can I use it to make room for me? How can I multiply what you have given so that I leave an inheritance for my children's children? If I serve the God of the universe, I can't be broken, disgusted, and sat it in a purse, poor church house rat. No, I don't know where that came from, but y'all, the thing is, you have to do what he's called you to do, and you're going to have some bumps in the road because that's a part of the process. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of facing the things that you need to fix so that you can show up profitable, that you can be in a safe place where we don't judge you. We meet you where you are. If you're an emerging faithpreneur, you're figuring it out. You're writing the vision and making it plain, figuring what you can do with your skill, gift, and talent. We give you the resources on how to identify and formulate. If you're an established faithpreneur, you started in business 2, 3, 5, 6 years, but you haven't had a level of success that you can yield a profit, and you're ready to scale and grow and invest in other opportunities to fast forward what you are producing. We're here to support you. And then our empowered faithpreneurs come back and seed Kingdom Business. They sponsor our event. They pay for the opportunity for those who want to get the training, who want to show up for conferences, who want to invest in programs, but their money might be a little funny. It might still be circulating back to their bank account, and they can give and underwrite some of that experience to move them from emerging to established to be empowered so they can do the same thing, pay it forward, and keep the circle of the economy going. So this passion around building business on the cornerstone of faith is prayers answered. My grandmother was a faithpreneur, and I didn't know that. I didn't know until we were laying her to rest when she transitioned December 15th, 2015, Brian. I didn't know that my grandfather in Jamaica, West Indies had built a whole portion to the house for her to open up a store so that she could sell her wares. But my grandmother didn't have Destiny Designers University. She didn't have a space where she could come and learn the ins and outs and the intricacies of building a business. She just wanted to share. She wanted to help. And people kept coming and asking to buy without money. It's what we call now layaway. And they never came back to pay. And my grandfather was like, this ain't none of business. And then shut it down. That's for all my West Indians out there. So my grandmother never had a chance to leave a legacy of that business for her children and her children's children. But it was in her heart and soul. And I thought I knew everything. I was my grandmother's baby. All my cousins know it, all my aunts and uncles, that I proclaimed to be number 8 because she gave birth to 7. But now I see so clearly why she went through what she went through, and God still answered her prayers, but it came through 2 generations deep. It came through her granddaughter to be able to pull together a safe place of learning and growing for faith-based entrepreneurs and faith-based professionals to build a profitable and sustainable enterprise that they can pass on. So while she might not have left me the brick and mortar business for our family, what she left me was a legacy of faith. And that's what this platform is able to do each and every day. Just like we honor Jonathan, I honor my grandmother and that legacy of faith that she left. And we're building enterprise. We're changing the economy. We're the economic drivers that people are paying attention to. Because when I started, folks were like, oh, maybe you shouldn't talk about God. You know, you're an international speaker and you might turn people off. I said, well, be very clear. If they don't know who I am, then maybe they're not for me. I don't have to dwarf or diminish who God is in my life to please somebody else. I don't go and disrupt or interrupt what people have on their agenda, and I'm respectful of it. But you know who I am and whose I am. And I work in the corporate and the private sector. I speak to audiences where I don't have to be Bible toting and scripture quoting, but they know who I am and they know the fundamental of the work that I do within Destiny Designers University. So my other companies and my other enterprises, they appreciate it. I even have atheists that follow me and who are a part of the tribe, because the truth is the truth anyhow. And that universal truth brings people together. And that's what excites me about being here with both of you, because you understand the power in story. You understand the power in sharing and collaborating. That's what this is. It's a collaboration with 2 different entities, Black Speakers Network and Speakers Magazine. We don't do this thing called life alone. We do it together. And Pam is celebrating 5 years. We're celebrating the 5th anniversary Faithpreneur Weekend experience. Won't God do it? And let me every year he upgrades me. Okay, the faith override is real, honey, because this year we are now not only doing another hybrid event, but we're now broadcasting on pay-per-view TV. How about that? And our in-person audience is being filmed in a live theater. How about them, Apple? So these 2 individuals have been a part of the platform, have been training and sharing, and now we just get to 10 exit, triple exit, quadruple exit, because my God is the God of the universe. Okay, y'all got me fired up. Let me just fan. Let me just say that with it a little bit.
This is it. This is it. This is the issue. It is fire. Sierra did a great job with the story here. The arc of faithpreneurs, right? Noah's Ark, the arc right there. And this issue is fire. I love it. The cover photo by Andrew Grant. I will say that these were the photos that came from that. She has a talented family, just all the way around. And it is all about that linchpin of faith. And Dr. Stacie, 5 years together. I remember we met at PNC, face to face, Power Networking. And yes, George was our first cover. And I said, hey, you would make a good cover. And you had the first event that August, and we were trying to figure it out. And I was there. And, the very first year, it doesn't have to be perfect when you get started. Just get started. Okay.
Hello. That's my second life lesson. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting started so you have something to perfect. And that is it. Okay. Y'all
I would love to talk about the evolution of this, because you mentioned that, 5th year, 5 years going into the Faithpreneur Conference. And this is really like a weekend. So we're talking about August 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. And I just love the fact I love talking to event visionaries because sometimes people think that things like this. Pam and I met for the first time at the PNC conference with Dr. George Frazier, met in person rather, and you know these type of multi-day experiences are they're complex, they are expensive. There's a lot of logistics, there's branding, there's marketing, there's room blocks, there's food and beverage. Like there's a lot to go into it. And so anytime I have a chance to like learn from people that put on events at that caliber, and to your point, Dr. Pam, like you saw it from the beginning. So I really would love to kind of talk about like that evolution of um, the event experiences itself, and the fact that now we've had to pivot and of course offer these hybrid options. So can you give us any insight into like what it's like to execute this? Does it still feel like now, okay, this is my fifth year and I pretty much know what I'm doing and we got all the pieces together, or is it more like,
She's
hey,
always no, she's always adding different layers. I will say that very first year she started at the top. Okay. And what was it? The Marquise?
The New York Marriott Marquis, where the ball drops every year in the middle of
Yes.
Times Square.
That's where she started. Okay. Talk about faithpreneur. It's like we're gonna test this. We're gonna walk on the water on this one. Okay. And it was a beautiful hotel in like the iconic hotel there, right where the ball drops. I mean, it was just amazing. And tears all weekend because I was so full.
Yes.
Didn't know what to expect, had no idea. Go to events all the time, different from PNC, because this was just like you really had let your hair down in faith. We had church on Sunday. Okay. It was prophecy. It was just everything. Okay. So I was like, how's she gonna beat this the second year? And she did. How's she gonna beat this the third year? Third year was 2020, right?
Yep. COVID.
So, okay.
And it
So
was
we had the boxes. So she pulled out the boxes and everybody got these boxes and we did it virtually. It was still spectacular, even though we were virtual in 2020. We had the boxes and all that kind of stuff. And then the 2021 was the first hybrid one.
Yes.
So I didn't attend that one because I was hybrid. I was, but this year I will be at that one. And so we're going to see how that one grows and evolves. But that very first year tell them about, I'm out here, God. You told me. Because they told you to start it in the church, right? They said, well, just have it in the church basement.
Yeah.
They wanted me to live event. It's still New York, right?
Yes, it's still New York. We're still in New York. So let me give you the evolution of one. When you mention events, which I think is important to note, that part of my skill set, I ran an event company. People don't know that part of me, but I ran that for years, right? So I was doing events. That's how God will set you up. But I was doing special events. I started in Pfizer before I went to a private company in Long Island, and that was my last corporate job. I was the vice president of operations and managed events, trade shows, which is a whole nother level when it comes to how we're able to execute programming. So that was a skill set that I didn't know how much it was going to come into play for the huge assignment that God gave me. So it really started when my grandmother transitioned. That was the impetus for me to finish my signature book, Action, Action, Despite the Distraction. And in 2016, on the eve of her birthday, we launched with that book. That's a whole nother testimony. We don't have time today. She would have been 99 she would have been 99 that year. So 2017 came and I said, she's 100 years old. We have to have a legacy dinner celebration for her 100th birthday in heaven. So we planned that and had a beautiful opportunity to celebrate legacy. And then the next year, I said to my husband, the fall of 2017, I think we need to do a Faithpreneur weekend. He was like, what? Like, how do we go from a book signing to a legacy dinner? And now you want a 3-day event? I said, yes, where faithpreneurs can come from all over. We can gather. We have training and development. We celebrate legacy. And then we can close it out with the call that I've been doing for years. This year is the 13th year I've been hosting my Faithpreneur VIP prayer call. I said, yeah, let's do it. And talk about faith. Pam knows. When I went down to sign the contract, I was like, woo, Lord. Okay, we're going to sign the contract. They gave me a couple of weeks where I had to do the deposit. And I was like, okay, where the money coming from, Jesus? Where the money? Where the money? Holla at your girl. And then I got a sponsor that wrote the exact $5,000 deposit that I needed to go and put down. That can only be God. And then we were on the grind, knocking at doors, talking to people about the experience. And when it's your first year producing, this is note to everyone. you're creating a story, you're building a story. You don't have proof yet of the results of what you're doing. It's your vision, it's your passion that will enroll people in seeing it early on. And there were only a few people who saw the vision. And my girlfriend made a call and introduced me to one of my honorees actually this year, who at that time worked for Delta Airlines. And she heard the vision and she said, well, let me see what we could do. And she ended up being able to be one of our first major sponsor names that we could place with Faithpreneur Weekend, and that was Delta Airlines. And Miss Jessie's my girl, Miko Branch, who came on board early, and so many who were teetering. Right? When you're doing an event, people are kind of watching. Is it worth my investment? Should I put my money behind this? What kind of integrity is in this brand? And I thank God he kept me calm and focused. And we had an incredible first Faithpreneur Weekend experience. And it took a whole lot out of me. Trust and believe. It was not easy to do, but God did it, so much so that Comic-Con was happening at the New York Marriott Marquis that same weekend. I did not know. And the security guards took it upon themselves to close off the entire floor. I only rented 2 rooms in the New York Marriott Marquis.
I
And
know.
they closed off the entire floor.
It was amazing.
They said the peace that is on this floor is a peace that they had never experienced.
Come on
And
now.
they took it upon themselves. People that were working our catering functions were stopping and coming outside and listening to the program.
Yes.
They were thanking me at the end, like, we have never seen anything like this at the Marquis. That's
Yes.
God. And that's how God did it. I mean, it was so many other pieces that I could share, but let me fast forward to year 2. So Pam said, you started at the top. What are we going to do? Just so happens that my other company, C&G Enterprises, I am the facilitator for the $19 billion JFK International Airport Redevelopment Community Advisory Council. And there was a new hotel that was opening, the TWA. It's a landmark hotel. And that TWA hotel was opening right before Faithpreneur Weekend. And we were able to host Faithpreneur Weekend 2K19 at the landmark TWA Hotel at JFK International Airport. It was another game changer. We were one of the first events in that building. Then COVID came, as Pam said, and we had to pivot. But Brian, here's the beauty in knowing events, knowing how to move according to what the audience needs. And we had a production space and had one of the best conferences ever and interactions virtually in the middle of COVID, where people were still investing in the opportunity to participate. And then last year, we had a partnership with the Queens County Borough President, Donovan Richards, where we held our event in Borough Hall in the Helen Marshall Cultural Center. And we had a hybrid event with people in person, which was incredible. And then we added an additional piece in COVID, which was the Faithpreneur Got Talent segment, where we talk about talent from young people, artists, spoken word, dancers. And last year we expanded that with a partnership with Be Wise Inc. And now this year is 4 days. So I up leveled again for year 5, that we are in the year of grace now, doing a whole day dedicated towards Faithpreneur Got Talent. Then we're filming another one of our shows with a spotlight that we're doing. And we have a sponsor that we're about to make a huge announcement and press release on. That's going to be a game changer with how we make it affordable for so many other people to participate. Thursday, we focus on legacy. That's the day where I highlight that all of this work is honoring my grandmother and the legacy of faith. So I have honorees, 10 incredible honorees that we will be highlighting. Pam is one of our past, Dr. Pam Perry is one of our past honorees. And that's where I celebrate people I know. See, I have at least a good 5 years left before I have to go into acknowledging or honoring someone who I don't know, because the beauty of my collaborative relationships is I know people. I know how they work, not just because they have millions, not just because their names on billboards, but because we pray together, we work together, we understand how to not compromise our faith and grow our business. So I get to highlight and celebrate them at a Legacy Awards dinner reception. And then Friday is all day training. That's where we go in. That's where we get into learning how to leverage our resources, our relationships, our revenue, so that we can create that sustainable economy, and honoring our temple, because we can't do all of this wonderful money and get our coins if our bodies are breaking down. So it's a full intensive day of training and development. And we close out on Saturday morning with our Faithpreneur VIP prayer breakfast, where we do our call live, where I give out a special award to our international corporate Faithpreneur Pearl recipient, and that's the person who in corporate America is blazing new trails, but they also have added additional streams of income to their personal economy. So it's a full experience. We're adding tours this year. We're giving downtime for people who are coming to New York to experience New York. We're working with some partners and vendors to highlight them on some suggested tours while you come to New York, and making everything safe for our in-person VIP. So it's full, it's on, it's living your faith in 3D. Our whole conference theme is action, action, despite the
distraction.
Living your faith in 3D. So, honey, it's about to go down. And I'm just excited that I get to do this work, that I get to collaborate with such incredible faculty who serve and train, that I get to highlight so many who are helping those in the marketplace succeed, that I can tap into our younger generation and how they're growing and developing and creating their own voice in their own way. We even have a millennial panel where our dear Brian was on that panel too, talking about how to receive the mantle, how to go the distance. So when you're developing programming in an event, focus on the value that you are giving the audience, so that as you're doing the logistics, as you're doing the negotiations, as you're doing all of the pieces, it will honor the vision of what you're executing, because the love is in the details. And even if it's not perfect the first time, because 2018 wasn't perfect, we had some behind the scenes things that we were working through. But if I didn't get started then, I wouldn't be here today celebrating the 5th anniversary weekend experience with all kinds of upgrades, because can't nobody upgrade you like Jesus. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think that.
That is so true.
Go ahead, Sam. I just feel like that was a mini masterclass on how to talk about like your event experience. And I mean, obviously there are so many components to dive into there, but it's helpful for me, and I'm sure many people across Black Speakers Network, even if you've never hosted an event before, I think you successfully use clues. And I think that just there's so much embedded in the way you do things, and kind of starting off on a level of excellence, but still knowing that there are things that you can evolve into. And as you bring in new partners and you kind of tap into your network, you can get a lot done. I think sometimes we make the mistake of saying, well, I want to go out and get everything first. Like I want to go out, like if you would have had the mindset, Dr. Grant, well, I'm not even going to do anything until we lock in, a company like Delta, then nothing would ever happen. Like people like to be on stuff that's already moving. It's a lot easier to attract the people that, God has meant for you if you already start motion. And so that's what I see in this.
Absolutely. But look, I just saw in the chat that my brother's in the building. Dr. Will Moore is in the house. Hey, Dr. Will, how you doing? I was just honored to be a part of his top speakers, and what he is doing with his publication. This is the collaborative beauty in how like attracts like, iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. And it just makes my soul so excited. Brian, I told you when we first connected that I see you. And I'm just so proud of the space that you're holding for your generation. It makes a lady like me who's getting to a certain age, Lord, just happy that we know that we are passing the baton on through collaborative relationships. On your birthday, you participated in Faithpreneur Weekend, right? Mm-hmm, you didn't say no. You're like, nah, sorry, big sis, but I'm going to celebrate my birthday. You made it happen. Yep. And those things speak volume to the integrity of who you are as a person, your heart to create Black Speakers Network, because you know what you went through in trying to carve out space and have someone acknowledge you and know that you had value. And you said, instead of complaining about it, I'm going to fix it. And you and Jonathan were able to create something that has impacted so many lives. And then you saw a Dr. Pam Perry, and you're like, wait, she has a magazine. We have the speakers. Like, this is a match made in heaven. And that is what I know is the beauty of the work that I do. There have been so many collaborations that have happened for those who have been a part of Destiny Designers University and all of the outreach and the programming that we've been doing for Faithpreneurs. I don't have to have the answer to everything. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough puts it the best in his book. If you're the smartest person in your room or your group, you need a new group.
There you go.
Listen,
That's it.
Man, how are you able to pull out these magazines so fast? I know I got a basket. Like, what do you have? You have like you just have. Is Mark standing over there just handing you issues? Like, you got some sort of like system?
Well, I do have some of the 2022 ones. That Nicole was one of the honorees too, as
Yes,
well.
yes, she
It's
was.
just a circle of people, and I always say that Jacqueline Carr, she has a book, Everybody Attached to Me Wins. And that's how you want to feel, that everything attached to you wins. So the
That's
people
right.
who are in the magazines, on the covers, at the event, everything attached to you wins. And so I just look and I see some of the comments of some of the people that have been in the magazine. Dr. Will was a cover at 2020, 2020. Yeah, 2020, of January 2020. And so it's like one of those things where you know that people around you all have the same vision and we're all really going towards the same goal. I want to say that our godfather in all of this is Dr. George Frazier and Dr. Les Brown, right? Because he's like, he did the cover and the forward for Speak Up magazine. And so that is like the linchpin of how all of us meet face to face. And he's having that event again in August in Houston, but he's one of the ones that talks about networking and adding value
That's
to
right.
relationships,
That's
right?
right.
That's the whole point,
Nobody
adding
does it
value to
better.
relationships.
Yeah, nobody does it better.
That
CSB,
exactly. He's the
CSB is
OG.
He is
yeah,
the OG for real.
that's
He's
our
him
that's
and Les are
Fraser,
the OGs.
Fraser Nation. So yeah, so this cover is beautiful. And so is this the what skyline do we have behind us with this photo?
Queens.
Queen.
Queens.
That makes perfect sense. I
Yes,
love it.
it's the world's borough. It's the world's borough.
Yes,
This
yes.
is you always do such a good job, not good job, great job with your branding. I was on the Faithpreneur the website this morning for Faithpreneur Weekend, and I was like who designed it? Like where do you get all these photos and like stuff? I'm just like
That's
man,
That's
like
Grant.
that's the talent. That's Otis of my team. That's our creative director, and he is just. But see, when you walk in the anointing, you can feel the anointing in this man's work. Like when he puts it together, it's like whoa. Where did that come from? And it just speaks to your soul. And that's why you have to operate in your sphere of genius. Brian, I'm not a designer. I don't desire to be a designer, right? I stay in my lane, but you bring the brilliance of those who are experts in what they do and you give them space to shine. That's
Mhm.
the beauty of collaboration. So thank you for that. I will give him that compliment because we get very wonderful compliments, not just on the aesthetic, but that they feel who the brand is and the work that we're doing. And that is important for speakers, for your words to translate into touching all the senses so that people understand more than the words you speak, who you are behind the words that allow them to go through an experience with you and want to continue that relationship.
absolutely. No, it's good to hear because again, this is branding. And Pam, I know you do this with Ready Set Go. Like people just kind of feel. I think have a concept that this stuff just kind of comes together. Like, oh, just send me a headshot. You know, it's not like that. It's very intentional. Like y'all notice the colors. Like it's very, very there. And so to your point, if you're not the person that has an eye for that, I know I'm not. I'm not the most grammatically correct person. People always point out spelling errors in our emails and our posts. You need somebody to look at that. If it don't have to be you, but somebody on your team has to manage it. If you don't have an aesthetic eye, somebody hire somebody that knows what a hex code is and get that taken care of so that you could be in alignment. So Monet, we can actually go to the next page if you don't mind. I would love to pop open the cover and see kind of where we are because I know this issue is packed as always. We're going to kind of go through and see exactly what's in here. But first page, we're kind of getting into you mentioned
Honorees.
Dr. Grant, yeah, the honorees. So Pam, and do y'all want to talk about that really quick?
Yeah,
Um,
this is exciting because the first year of honorees, I started with my mentors. So it was Les Brown and Dr. Frazier and Vera Moore and Linda Clemens and Susan Taylor and Dr. Joel P. Martin. And it was just wonderful being able to celebrate who poured into me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was important for the first one, as I celebrated my grandmother, to have my mentors. And then year two, it started the laundry list of the amazing friends in my network. And I was able to celebrate each and every one of them. And it's like each year when I put it out, I'm like, I can't tell the next one who's coming because I don't want them to feel that they're left out. But I have so many of you that I'm going to be going to 2030 before I finish celebrating everyone. But I'm grateful that this year, Andy and Cassandra, we have gone back. I actually officiated their wedding in Mexico. And as they've been growing their enterprise, it's just wonderful to see what God is doing. Carmen Herrera has been a dear friend once again from FraserNet, and she's one of our sponsors as well. Dawn Kelly is a local superstar here in Queens that built the Nourish Spot business. Diana Rose, first commercial kitchen in this area, doing amazing things. Dr. Alfonso Wyatt, who is one of the foremost leaders when it comes to training and development. We have Dr. Nicole Mason Esquire, which you all know, who's been a prayer warrior for me on the wall since day one. Elizabeth Madison, who's a registered faith-based dietitian and nutritionist. Kern Cherry, who all of you know the work that Kern does and how she is doing it with an integrity to God. Vanessa Lindley, who is an incredible financial expert. Ambassador Sue J. Johnson Cook, who is just, when I say, that woman of God has represented us in government across the seas like a true ambassador. And Dr. Willie Jolly and D Jolly, I call her Mama Jolly. I get to celebrate them. They have been praying for me personally, not just in business, but just as a parent and as a wife and just a true covering. And yeah, they the bomb. Yeah, everybody know them. Yeah, all these people have all these great things, but they are incredible. And Dr. Carmetria Burton was originally with Delta. She is now head of diversity at McDonald's Corporation.
Ah,
And
okay.
I'm celebrating her, and she has her whole movement on painting your lips red in honor of her grandmother and fighting, physical challenge as well. So when I tell you it's going to be incredible celebrating them, it's just go back to the website, go see the receipts. Everybody else, like Dr. Perry, who was honored and who was there, and this is my time.
You know, one of my favorite that I really enjoyed because you interviewed them too was Cent Marshall.
Oh yes, it was our first Faithpreneur
I
International
learned
Pearl Award
so
recipient.
much when you interviewed her. I learned so much about her. One, that she was a mom that adopted some children. She's the president of a basketball
Dallas
team.
Mavericks. She's the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, and so I did. That's what I knew about it. But then you went into her faith journey and her story. It just, I mean, I was in tears at the end of that interview. She is a woman of God, of faith.
She is.
She's not what you're saying. She's not toting the Bible and quoting scriptures, but she's walking that walk as a faithpreneur. And that when you sit down with some of your honorees and interview them, that's the magic right there. And then afterwards they mingle with you and you get to walk up to them and talk with them, and they're just like, you're there.
Regular people.
Regular people. Love it, love it. Yes, you have a good circle.
Yeah, I'm blessed. And she's also been a sponsor of the event since 2019. And just incredible, the doors that she has opened, the things that she has shared. And actually, she'll be featured in our upcoming Faithpreneur magazine. So I'm just so excited
I love
about
her.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Pam.
This particular issue is 5 years. So they showed like me and Dr. Stacie at the very first one, I believe. Yeah, that the very first one. I was interviewing her there on the blue carpet, or was it the red carpet? I'm not sure.
Blue.
Carpet. Yeah, blue was her color, and as a side note, it's because of her sorority too, as well. So the Zetas are blue, so that's kind of like her signature color, as well as you, Brian. You like the blue too, as well.
Yes.
That the Melinda Emerson, she's down there in the corner. She was one of the ones that was in our magazine. But the other thing that really talks about how we're kicking off 5 years, the Roku channel with the Speakers Magazine show. It's called the Leading Edge Network. So more of that to come. But just some of the covers that we had. We had Les on the cover. Met you there, Stacie, at his event when he did that in Florida, and then Kim Coles and Kimbrough. But this particular issue has a lot of people that are of faith. So Dexter Sullivan is ORU grad, powerful speaker. He just won the Michigan Chronicles of 40 Under 40. He was the class, I guess you would say, designated speaker for the class. His mentors are people like Dr. Cindy Trim. Powerful. We got to watch his video and read about him in the magazine as well. We can go into the next page. Yeah, and oops. Yep. So, like I said, a lot of them, both of these ladies are down for a faithpreneur mission. So, when I put together the magazine, sometimes I move people in and out of the magazine depending on the theme of what their talks is or who their audience is. This one's a faithpreneur issue, so both of them are down for the cause.
And I know Kay.
Oh, okay, so you know. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. And Bonita Tyler is powerful as well. So their videos are there. You can kind of click and watch them and actually read them and
I
contact them.
know Benita is part of the Black Speakers Network community. Has done some great
Oh,
work with, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's both powerful, powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the center spread, Sierra did that story. Click over to Monet to the next page so that we can, yeah, there we go. And her video is down there. That was an old video of you and Les.
ah,
Oh, little time
with my
capsule.
daddy, with my
Yeah,
daddy. Yeah.
yes, and you cut up with him. It's so funny seeing you guys laughing together and stuff like that. But Sierra did a really good job with this, kind of like capitalizing the
Yes.
whole uh, comparing Noah's Ark and the Ark of the Faithpreneurs. Like, like I'm building. You all don't know, rain is coming. Let's get on.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
so that's a true leader right there. That's a true leader. They have the vision. Not everybody's going to see it at first, but they have the vision.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
outstanding.
She is awesome. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, Brian.
Nah, yeah, she is. I always give us here kudos because it's kind of like how do you synopsize? I mean, I don't know how long you talked to her to get this interview, but it's very challenging. I think to kind of
You
kind of
know,
pare down that much information and such a digestible but still very valuable piece. So I really really like this, and again the layout awesome. Like it just like looks like very very good, and even the call outs with this quote. We were talking about Destiny Designers University and how you complicated the rollout of it because of your limited view. I forgotten that this was God's vision, not mine. Like, and so it's just very very well crafted. I love it so
mhm.
much.
Yep, that's it.
It
And
is.
also, too, just to remind people to go to faithpreneurweekend.com. It happens every year. You can come in person or virtually, either
Yes.
one, or pay per view.
Yes.
August 10th through the 13th.
Oh,
Uh,
let me
mhm.
pause for the cause. We
Okay.
had a sponsor that just opened up some slots for the weekend experience. Is 4 days in person, including your meals and some special events, and it's $497, which was a steal. But we know with COVID, we wanted to make it accessible. But if you use the code GRACE. GRACE for
Mhm.
everyone at Speakers Network and Speakers Magazine, you can get all of that for only 97. So
What?
yeah, I forgot to tell you that, Pam, because I just got the text in
I could
that
have put
there
that.
were some slots open. So
Yeah.
that's the code GRACE. So when you put it
Oh,
up the next time, you want to use that. When the slots are done, they're done. But that's a gift that you are able to utilize being here and being a part of supporting Black Speakers Network and
uh,
Speakers Magazine. So make sure you share the blessing with somebody who wants to be in person
I
for the
can't
event.
wait. I
Yes.
can't wait. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So good. All right. All right.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you tune into Black Speakers Network, Speakers Magazine, live interview. You might just get something. If you,
Got to
you know,
be in it to win it.
gotta
There you
be,
go. Those that show up go up. There you go.
Yeah.
all right, one day we can go to the next thing. That's really, really awesome, Dr. Grant. And again, that just shows the power of partnership. All right,
Absolutely.
Pam.
I want to say Soraya is a BSN member.
Yes, yes.
She is.
She's a newer member. She
Yes.
actually is going to be on our speaker spotlight.
Okay.
And she just did she has a podcast as well. So she just did a podcast power match for us as well. So yeah.
Yes, yes. So she was in there. So she definitely is a woman walking by faith as well. This is a young lady that I met, and she gave a little bit of a background on how she got on Tammy Mack Late Show. And essentially, she tells you the story about how it happened, because I always try to have people give some kind of feature to really show speakers how they can get out there and get known. And so basically, what she did was she wrote her story very authentically, put it in a association's newsletter. And when the producer from Fox Soul's Tammy Mack's Late Show was looking for a expert in the area, found her story, found her and called her, and she ended up on the show. So it pays to just be consistent and keep your head down to really do the work. And so she wrote the story, was very authentic in an association. I think it had to do with infertility. And so they were looking for someone about infertility, and she popped up first page of Google. So she was Googleicious, and that's how that happened.
This is a really good article because she's like, yeah, I thought it was spam at first, so I almost didn't, pay attention to it.
Becky did that too. Becky was on the cover. Becky Davis, one of your honorees, right? She was on the cover, and she got on the Tammy Mack show because she was on the cover of Speakers Magazine, and she was the same thing. She called me. She says, "Is this spam? Someone from Fox Soul reached out to me." I said, "No, that's for real. That's for real."
Oh,
Don't block it. Don't block your blessing. Don't let the spam filters block your blessing.
Exactly.
I sent Les Brown the voicemail because I didn't know it was him. I didn't recognize the number when we first connected way back when.
You just never know. You just never know.
I didn't know. Didn't recognize the number.
Mm-hmm. So that the next page is again more people who are in the faith space. Roxanne Felton, I believe she's a BSM member, and then Cynthia Galaro. She actually has a really good speaker reel. So I really wanted people to see how her speaker reel was put together. It was put together with Sean Fair. So wanted people to understand that it's more than just your bio and your pictures, but you also need a speaker reel. So that's what her speaker reel kind of shares as well. And Roxanne's is there as well. But people can read their entire articles and actually share their articles and things like that by going to speakersmagazine.com, and you'll see them under the featured issues on our brand new website that they have the entire section. Yes. They have their own posts. Yeah.
The website looks really good too.
The website looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh my God. You know how it is when you some Hey, that website, redoing websites is no joke.
Oh,
migrating all of that over was just, it still needs some other things, but completion is better than perfection, right? So that was the thing. Just do it. Do it. Don't stress yourself out. Yes.
What do we have next? I know we're probably coming down.
I want to say this is the gentleman who was just on our Clubhouse as well. So we do have some men in here. So flip the page.
Well, that's good because faithpreneurs are not gender-based. We're faith-based. So we have a lot of men in our community too.
So he's with Kingdom Social Media, David Simons, not Simmons, Simons, speaker. He went to Full Sail University. He is from originally from Ghana, came here and just really wanted to be an engineer, and then fell in love with digital marketing and social media. And so he's in there and he's really training and doing a lot of things, Kingdom Social Media, obviously for Christians, that keyword kingdom. And he does a lot in the social space. So he does really, really good. And that's his acceptance speech. I think he won the 30 Under 30 award. And that was his acceptance speech at that time. So yeah, he was actually, I met him networking at Dr. Darnell Jervy's event.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that he was doing things for her. So really him and his wife became really fast friends with me and Mark. He's a great young man. Just really, really love his heart. And he is so talented. So talented.
Full Sail University, like people come out of that and just they have no problem getting work because they're from video editing, creative, like all the like degrees.
Immersive.
He's a whiz at Facebook ads. Like seriously.
Really?
Like he was talking analytics. I was like, okay. That's a lot of numbers. I was like, I just like the creative stuff, but he knows that part, the data analytics and all that. So that is it. And then we had an article. I want a lot of speakers to understand to turn up their YouTube channel. YouTube is owned by Google. And so there's just some tips there that Chris Wood talks about of how to really upgrade your YouTube channel so that you can get booked. If you're speaking, they're going to know how you speak by not seeing you in person, but seeing you on YouTube. So we give some tips on how to really upgrade and turn up your YouTube channel. And that's a little video there talks about pan-periodisms. That was a video that we did for 5 years. Well, one of my team members put together a lot of my quotes and put it in the video. So that's there as well.
I agree with that. I think, YouTube is probably an underutilized resource just in general, but particularly for speakers. I mean, if you are establishing thought leadership, it is the second largest search engine out there. But it would be weird if you Googled food and if there's a McDonald's like across the street and like nothing popped up, if you're like the number one restaurant and like nothing like came up
Yeah.
in like the Zagat guide or something like that. If you're a speaker, like I don't really understand why you wouldn't have like just a ton of thought leadership content like on
Yes.
YouTube to be driving traffic back to your site and to be like more easily discovered. And now we've started doing, we've kind of reactivated our Black Speakers Network page. They send you all those. Speaking of analytics, like every month they send you this report of all the stuff that all the new subscribers you got, and where the traffic is coming from, and it's really really valuable data. And so there's just a ton of reasons that YouTube just makes a lot of sense. So I'm excited that you have this article in here.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it is. You can
Yeah.
create playlists and things like that. It is really, and making sure that you fill out the about section so people can know how to find you and
Right.
tagging them properly. It's a whole thing on that. So, yeah,
And
you got-
repurposing and
yes,
repurposing, because you can repurpose old content. You can, remix it, and it shows your longevity that you're not new to this, you're true to this. So
there you go. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
I know we got the back cover,
Yeah,
as always, kind of forecasting what we got, but this is cool. We're doing a first of all, Pam, you just do such a great job with all this stuff. I'm
yeah.
here trying to like put all these properties together, but we
oh
got
my
the
God.
spotlight promotion.
And we had Alicia for the month of June, and she's having her event today in Atlanta, and
Oh,
and so it's always good to see the covers and then see them in the action of doing their events. That's where Sierra is right now. She's actually at Alicia's event in Atlanta,
oh,
but
nice.
but typically, like, so we'll have pictures from their events so people can kind of see. We're Speakers Magazine event oriented, and so we'll have pictures of the previous events in the issues in the publisher's page and that sort of thing. So yeah, that the thing that we're doing, we do the Amazon Live. Again, people sleep on that if they're an author, so we have that offering as well. Like I said, the new TV channel on Roku, the Leading Edge Network. I mean, just a lot of things, but it's all about really making sure that people are getting the shine that they deserve. Stepping into the spotlight, so that they're not the world's best kept secret, right? I'm
Yes.
a publicist by trade, so we want to make sure that they're getting out there. So yes,
Absolutely. And it's so important. And, you never know where it's going to land up because of our partnership. We put Speakers Magazine in all of our Faithpreneur action boxes
yeah,
and, everything that we give out. And it lands up in different places. And people have gotten some traction from like, oh, I saw that where that Stacie was on the cover, but I met you because I read the article. And they were able to connect and do something. That's wonderful. I mean, that's what true collaboration is about.
yes.
That yes, I'm honored to be the cover girl, but look at all the other people that people are finding out about because they're coming because of me. But look at all of these resources that they're able to get.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
incredible,
it.
incredible.
That is it. That is so, and it's a part where people will save it for
Oh, yeah.
years. Like they don't throw it away.
No.
It's not junk. It's like, no, I'm going to save that.
Yes, and you can keep it and share it with others. And I just love this. I mean, clearly, I know we have limited time. I'm like, are we already in a full hour's conversation? Because I can hang out with, I call him my little bro, my Brian, all day, every day. I'm rooting for him to win all the time because he just got it like that. And my Dr. Pam Perry, that's my ride or die sis right there. And we can be in this conversation forever. But I really hope that you are not just watching Black Speakers Network when we do a reveal, but that you are sharing, that you're not keeping this to yourself. Don't be selfish. Share the broadcast out every month. They're here bringing you quality individuals, not just the okie doke, not as Dr. Frazier would say, a bunch of people who just in business. It's people who are in business, who are sharing their voices, their platforms, their stories, because they need to show each and every one of us what's possible. God is not a respecter of person. You honor God, he honors you. You do your work, watch God work. That's what I talk about. And when we stand up in our truth, no matter what it is that you believe, you give other people permission to do the same thing. Black Speakers Network has opened up what didn't exist, an opportunity for you to get your voice and your platform out. And then you get the icing on the cake being featured in Speakers Magazine if you make the right investments with the next level of what's available for you. Nothing is accidental. Take this time today and your connection with Black Speakers Network as a gift. It's Christmas come early. It's Christmas in July. Continue to stay connected and be a part of this conglomerate of brilliance, because that's what it is. You know, there's so many of us that are support speakers, partners with Black Speaker Network, because we're all in the same space. And there's enough for everybody. Don't have a scarcity mindset, have an abundance mindset. When you shine, you give others permission to shine, but then you also open up new doors and opportunity for a global marketplace to be impacted by your voice and your story. Somebody's waiting on you. And don't think that you have all the time in the world to get it out. Life is a gift. Every day is precious.
Yes.
You better live full, as my mentor would say, so you can die empty. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's it. You know what? I want to say something. I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Stacie. There was someone that you honored your very first year of Faithpreneur Weekend, Dr. Joel JP Martin, right? JP Martin. And she had an ad agency in New York many years ago.
Yep.
And from afar, when I was in college, I used to just admire her because she was one of the first African American women to actually have an ad agency. She did a fabulous job. And now she moved to Phoenix and we met her and she's a trainer and that sort of thing. Well, she's going to have her event this year. Powerfully Powerful Women. She's going to be our September cover girl.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that, because I remember watching Dr. Martin when I came to FraserNet, and I was like, oh my gosh, like her poise, like just regal. I was like, honey, do it, mother. I want to be like that when I grow up. And she laughs when I say that, but it's the truth. You have to see it in order to
transformational.
Yes. And when you see examples, when you see speakers in Black Speakers Network, there is a young person or an older person that's watching and saying, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Let me find out. How do I get involved? How do I learn? They're not going to judge me for not knowing. They're not going to shade me because I didn't get my speaker reel done properly. No, they're going to give me the resources so that I can invest in getting what I need, because I don't know how to do it. Be okay with not knowing. Ask the right questions to the right individuals so that you can present yourself in the best version of who you're becoming. And that's what Black Speakers Network and Speakers Magazine have collaborated to do. I'm honored to be the cover girl, but I'm even more excited to be their friends and partners in this work. That's how we change the world. That's how we make all the cray we see around us move away, because we are shining our light and we're bringing the solutions and the answers to what people need.
I love that. I love that.
Well, that's a perfect bow to put on this. I really appreciate you, Dr. Grant. I always learn something from you every time that we have a chance to chat, and certainly in forums like this. And Pam, as always, you and Mark are rock stars in the speaking industry and outside of it. I just appreciate what you continue to do. So congratulations to both of you for 5 years running. And, like as they say, we just getting started. So
we're just getting started.
To everyone watching, again, thank you so much. Be sure to head on over to speakersmagazine.com to check out what's happening. Check out the latest issue. We're going to see a ton of people at Faithpreneur Weekend.
Love it.
13th, and we'll be back next month as we walk through another Speaker Magazine issue. And so, as we say here at Black Speakers Network, keep speaking up. Your audience awaits, and we'll see you on stage. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Awesome.